Hey everybody, Gamer Grampz here. In this video, I'm going to show you 5 different Civ 6 Gathering Storm pro tips that you can instantly use in your own games starting today. So if that sounds interesting, then stick around. If you want to get good at Civ 6, subscribe and hit the bell to keep up with this channel. Alright, first things first, calling these tips pro is definitely an exaggeration. Don't be discouraged though. If you aren't already using all of these tips, you definitely should be if you want to be as effective at playing the game as you can be. Enough beating around the bush though, let's get to the tips. Alright, here we go. The first tip I have for you is a creative way to get around an extremely annoying problem that I can't believe there isn't a better solution for. When you're playing any type of game other than domination victories, your city-state suzeranships are very crucial to winning the game as fast as you can. In my humble opinion, I can't think of a single thing in the game that pisses me off more than when some douchebag AI decides to declare war on one of my city-states. It pisses me off even more when said AI is a declared friend, or worse yet, an ally, and you can't do anything about it. Or can you? I'm happy to say that tip number 1 is a workaround for this annoying problem. It's a relatively quick fix and is pretty painless to pull off as long as you have a few hundred extra gold kicking around and you happen to notice them getting attacked early enough. This is obviously a lot easier to do when you're in the mid to late game and have an abundance of gold, rather than in the very early game when you're usually spending every penny you bring in. What you do though is levy the city-state's military. Most times they'll have at least 5 units, give or take 1 or 2. All you do is move their units into the tiles directly leading to their city so that it can't be invaded. Because the units are technically yours for 30 turns, the AI can't physically get to the city-state to capture it. Even if they bring in ranged and siege units, they can blast the walls away all they want, but the city, and more importantly, your bonus science, culture, or faith, are safe and sound. Worst case scenario, you secure your suzerainship for another 30 turns minimum. More often than not though, the scumbag AI will end up making peace with the city-state before the 30 turns passes, and you'll avoid losing it altogether. Alright, on to tip number 2. This one can come in handy when you're trying to play a peaceful game and don't have much in the way of a military, or when you're running out of turns before an era ends and you need to secure that golden age before it's gone. What you do is use a scout and a slinger in a combination to instantly wipe out a barb camp without even having to fight. This can also be done with any other unit, even a slinger and a settler to be completely honest. Not that I'd suggest trying that though. I should note, this obviously doesn't have to be a slinger. It can be any ranged unit at all, whether it's an archer or a field cannon, etc. later in the game, if it'll have the same effect. The bread and butter of this technique is that you move whatever unit you choose to clear the camp with onto any tile immediately adjacent to it. Once you have your unit in position, you simply move your ranged unit into view of the barb camp but leave it 1 tile away. The barbarian unit will automatically leave the safety of the camp in an attempt to go kill your weak ranged unit. As soon as it moves out, you simply move into the camp and get your era score without having to fight at all. Keep in mind that the unit you move into the hut will probably be attacked by the surviving spearmen, but you can simply run away if you don't want to fight and kill it. Unless you were stupid enough to do this with a settler, of course, in which case they're gonna capture it from you. For those more inclined to get their hands dirty, the scout-slinger combination is a great way to get your eurekas for bronze working and archery at the same time. With a little bit of finesse, it's no problem for a scout and slinger to double team and finish off a lone spearman. There is an exception to this trick though. If the barbarian is already severely injured, they won't always leave the camp to pursue your ranged unit. Also, remember that spearman has to have a clear line of sight on your ranged unit. It won't work if there's a rainforest or something else blocking the unit's vision. Moving on, the next tip is about chopping production from a great tile into a district or world wonder. I honestly didn't even know about this one until the past month, if I'm going to be completely honest. I honestly had no clue it was possible to do this. So you have a great district with a huge adjacency bonus, or the perfect spot for your world wonder picked out, but shit, there's a beautiful piece of stone or a nice forest you want to chop for a ton of production on the tile where it's supposed to go. This isn't really a big deal if you have something else really important that you can chop the production into, but this isn't always the case. Not to mention, if it's a really important wonder to your win condition, sometimes the production from the tile you build it on could be the difference between you getting what you deserve or a scumbag AI sniping the wonder on you. So here's how you solve your problem. What you do is have the city produce anything. And I mean anything. It can be a slinger, a research lab, you get it. anything. The key is that you need to have finished producing something and have a clean slate on the city production list. The city needs to have that little gearbox icon next to it if you look at it from the main game screen. Now, you have the builder go ahead and chop whatever tile it is where you want to place the wonder or the district while the city is building nothing. Then, go ahead and plant your desired structure in place. When you look at your production screen, it'll say 0 out of however many hammers needed to complete. Don't worry. Go about the rest of your turn like normal. Once you get to your next turn, all of the production that you chopped from whatever resource was on that tile will be applied to whatever it is you decided to produce. If you have Magnus already established in the city, his bonus does get applied to whatever wonder or district you plopped down. Moving on to tip number 4. This one's a real doozy. No, it isn't. It's a small tip, but very practical, and considering how many turns you have in a game where you change your policy cards in and out, it can add up and have a big impact on the result of your game. The tip itself is to make sure that you always take advantage of whatever policy cards you currently have slotted in before you go ahead and change your policies after researching a new civic. Sometimes it's easy to get excited you got the civic you've been waiting on for a while and you just jump right in and switch to whatever policy card you unlock because it's a really powerful one for whatever win condition you're chasing. I've done it more times than I can count, believe me. But have you ever stopped to think about what you're leaving on the table? It can be something as small as leaving your survey card online when you move all your scouts before switching policies, which allows a scout to get that last bit of experience for his promotion, so now he can move over hills or forested tiles and helps you earn era score faster. Or it can be more important, like leaving your land surveyor card functioning while you get those 2 luxuries improved and sell them off for gold, which allows you to buy some needed tiles to chop. Leaving that policy in place saves you 20%, which lets you buy a 5th tile to use instead of the 4 that you would have gotten without it. Not to mention having that wonder production boosting card functional for the one last chop needed to produce the wonder you need before the scumbag AI snipes it on you. But then, being able to switch out of that card for something actually useful instead of having it be stuck in place for however many turns it is until your next civic is unlocked. Enough examples though. Hopefully you can see where I'm going with this one by now. Okay, last but not least, we're on to tip number 5. This tip is basically only useful in the ancient era, although sometimes you can do it in the classical era as well under the right conditions. Just be careful though, because you'll generate 50 grievances with each civilization impacted by your decision. A nice thing about this is that there are no grievances generated, even though it says there will be. You haven't met the AI who's going to get pissed. With that being said, even if you do know them, 50 grievances is like spilled milk. It's nothing you can't overcome and have a healthy relationship with the AI, even on DD difficulty. Anyway, on to the tip. So you're playing your game and you end up meeting a city-state. Better yet, multiple city-states that are going to be crucial to giving you the boost you need for your win condition. There's a problem though. They have shitty envoy quests that you're definitely not going to complete, like build an encampment when you're going for a religious win, or recruit a great general when you're playing a peaceful science game. Problem solved. Well, problem solved as long as the city-state doesn't happen to be in your immediate vicinity. As long as you have a little bit of breathing room between you and the city-state so that their army doesn't take a walk and start giving you problems, you can easily get rid of that bunk city-state quest they wanted you to do. All you have to do is simply declare war on them. That instantly wipes out whatever quest they were asking you to do. And don't worry, you can instantly make peace 10 turns later. City-states are not like other civilizations who won't always make peace with you unless certain terms are met. They are more than happy to not be at war with you. Better yet, there's no grievances with city-states either, so it's not like they're going to hold it against you in the future. Worst case scenario, you lose out on a first meet envoy, but this can be more than worth the sacrifice considering having a quest like build an encampment can prevent you from earning any easy envoys from that city-state for the rest of some games. Just don't forget to make peace with the city-state before your era ends, otherwise you'll be boned for the following era's quest as well. This isn't my first Civilization 6 tips videos, so if you enjoyed this and found it helpful, you might want to check out the other one. You can find a link to it at the top of your screen right now. Well, there you have it. 5 tips that you can practice and have a significant impact on your Civ 6 game starting today. I sincerely hope you found the video helpful, and don't forget, if you have any specific Civ 6 questions, comment down below. I'm more than happy to help if I can. If you haven't yet, do me a favor and leave a thumbs up on the video, or share it with some people you think it might help out. Or better yet, do both. Anyway, I'm just gonna shut up now. I'll see you in the next video.